Summer Rambo that I grafted onto this crabapple tree. Some of you that watched the grafting over of the crabapple tree last year that I put Liberty signs onto, well, that was this tree. That tree was severely sunburned last year, and I just didn't see fit to keep it, so I went ahead and took it off at the trunk and put in Summer Rambo. Oddly enough, this sign was from the first grafting and it took off. These two didn't. So I regrafted both of these two about a month later and got one of these two to go. You can see it there, Summer Rambo, and still missed out on this one. That's alright. I am leaving some of this undergrowth. I'll pinch out the growing tips on it, but I am leaving some of it just to keep the sap flowing up from the roots. I think that's vitally important whenever you take a very large tree like this and whack it off. I've learned that the hard way. Summer Rambo is off and running. Here is Spy Gold on another crabapple tree that was sawn off, much the same. I've got 3 grafts in here. One has taken. It was put in very, very late. So you can see I'm also leaving some nurse branches here. I'm not in any hurry to take those out. It's grown about a foot on this trunk right here. Now here you can see the elderberry planting. Looks like we're going to have some elderberries this year if we can get some rainfall. We've had a very good season for rain thus far. Been shut off for about a week now, and that generally turns into a month before you know it. Here's the pawpaws. That one's got several grafts on it. We've seen those before. This is a newly made graft on this pawpaw. Put it in a rind graft there, and you can see got just a little bit of growth coming out right there. I don't know what's going to happen, if that's going to continue or die back, but it's been on there about a month, and that's just come out, so hopefully that will take. And then up here we've got a whip and tongue graft. This variety is called Cluster, and it's taken both the bottom buds right there. So pawpaw. Now, do I want to leave this graft up here and nothing over here? No. If this is the only graft that grows, I'll probably cut this off, regraft one of these longer shoots down here next year and get a better shape. Here's a crabapple grafted over to Turley wine sap. You can see the 2 signs placed in right there, bark graft. Now, something a little different I've done here with this one is I've wound these 2 growths together. This is all growth that's been made in the last 6 weeks or so. I wound them together and tied them up here at the top. Now, the idea is for these 2 to grow together and sort of graft themselves together. And in doing that, this will eventually all close off and you'll have one central trunk, a very vigorous central trunk, and these 2 signs, maybe with a burst of wind, will not blow out, seeing as how they're tied together in the middle. We'll see what happens. Here's a Liberty crabapple that we grafted about 3 years ago. You can see the old bark grafts right here. This year I wanted some growth. I wanted some branches down here lower on the tree. This is about it's hitting me about in the stomach right there. I wanted a little bit lower on the tree, so I let some of this growth go down here last summer to graft onto this spring, and that's what we've got here. Now this has got a really poor angle. The graft did grow. I don't know, I've got the branch kind of weighed over. Don't know if I'm going to keep that or not. This one is actually pretty low. This one took. These are all whip and tongue grafts. This one took. This one took. This is a good one right here. I like this one. Came off perfect, and we'll keep that growing out. But anyway, 4 for 4 on the whip and tongues right here on this Liberty crab. Okay, again, here's a crab that I grafted last season to Honeycrisp, and there you can see those grafts. Now, why I grafted this tree so high, I can't really explain. I should have done it down a bit lower. I know keeping it higher like that, I felt better about the deer not eating the grafts. But I wanted growth down lower, so I let some branches grow down at the bottom of this tree. And there you can see these were all, well, let's check it out. No, that's a this small limb here, if you can see it, that was bark grafted, and that's grown nicely. There you can see a whipping tongue, and that's grown out nicely. And yes, these are all Honeycrisp, regrafted onto Honeycrisp. And there's another bark graft on a pretty small diameter branch, and this looks like a cleft graft right there. So we were 4 for 4 on this Honeycrisp. I'd like to see a few apples. You can see some fruit buds on there. Might get some Honeycrisp apples off this tree next year.